Hey guys, Donnie here with another review for Gaming Trend. Today I'm looking at Blade Sorcery Nomad, a game for the Oculus Quest that came out November 4th, 2021. Physics, gravity, all stuff that you need in a great VR title like Blade Sorcery, originally released on the PC and then ported to Quest most recently. I like to start off by talking about the physics and the way that this game functions because it is a little bit different than any other game in VR I've experienced. The weapons have weight, the bow and arrow has feel to it, though not always smooth and functional as you'd hope, they do feel right, and that's a weird thing to say in VR. You swing your arm as fast as you can and sure enough the tracking won't stick, it'll break the immersion immediately. But when done correctly, and when you understand the way the game works, the movement, the fluidity, the tracking, the hands, everything just seems to work. And it's something that's very unusual for any VR title, to be this fluid and this natural feeling. When you hold a blade, you have to swing it appropriately. You have to control it like you would an actual sword. When you move your hands, move your feet, move your head, look around, it all feels very natural. Two-handed weapons take just that. Two hands to wield appropriately. When you throw something, when you drop something, it all feels right. But Blade Sorcery has this unique nature to it that just makes it a fun, realistic, and damn near awesome game. I just wish that some of the polish was already applied when this game went for sale. If you've never played it, you essentially start in your house where you weaponize your character, select everything you want from a book, conjure it on the spot, put it on your armor slots, and then pick a map. There's only one map available currently that offers a dungeon in Blade Sorcery, but the other maps, just like the PC port, are these sandbox fighters, where you can basically just run through, test weapons, and slay waves of enemies. But there are things that do suffer for being a Quest port. Now I have this game on PCVR, but on Quest it's different. For instance, when you're climbing, it doesn't feel exactly right. It doesn't look exactly right. It is a little immersion breaking, and it doesn't always work. I also had errors where, like, somebody's head was stuck in a door. I didn't put that man's head in a door. It was just stuck there. But when you look at the vistas that you can pull off on Quest, it really is incredible. And the way they made this game look so realistic and so fantastic on such little hardware, it's just an incredible experience. Now, I'm not exactly the greatest swordsman in the world, but I can wield a blade and a bow and arrow specifically. I had a blast doing this, and I've played countless titles in VR, both with swords, with shields, with magic, with all that stuff, and it really does play very well in this game. I'm always drawn to the bow, so I really enjoyed the bow play in this, and I do think this is one of its strongest aspects. Racking an arrow and pulling the drawstring is a little bit different than swinging a sword, but the mechanics don't let you forget that. So basically, there's a feature like slow time, if you will, where you can tap the A button or the X button, and you slow down time temporarily, and that allows you to focus on your enemies, parry attacks, and you get little bonuses for doing good moves and things like that. You get a little extra stamina and whatnot. But again, the real draw to this game is the physics. You sneak up behind an opponent, and you stab him as blatantly as you want to. There's just a cool feeling of that, like, real immersion that you just don't get in a lot of other games. I truly enjoy Blade Sorcery, and I wasn't the biggest fan when it was on PC. But I do think this game, kind of really shines on the Quest headset. There's so much movement and articulation. You need to have no wires. You need to have no connection, really, to take the most out of this game. And this is only the beginning. In the patch notes from the latest release, this game will get a ton of additional content as we move forward into 2022 and beyond. One of those things that we're looking for is like procedurally generated loot that matches the procedural dungeons. An RPG element, a leveling or class system, I think would be really helpful. Mini bosses, all those things are coming according to the developers in 2022, and I am very excited for it. Now, what this does need, which it doesn't really have right now, is some polish. I can't tell you how many errors and glitches and broken parts of the game that I did walk into. There was a section where the floor was gone. That's it. The floor was gone. And that section wasn't isolated, because not only did this one section have no floor, which was very immersion breaking, but the next section had no walls, no pillars, no bits and bobs. It was way worse than the floor, and it was just gone from the game. Again, incredibly immersion breaking. It's not like the game still didn't function. It just was not a great or an ideal experience at parts. And again, when you're dealing with procedurally generated dungeons, I get that that can happen. But I do think this game could have used a little bit extra time in the oven to bake before it was released on Quest for $20. Quest title for $20 is pretty fair, and it's pretty consistent with other games. But still, I think it could have been finalized a bit more. This isn't a review so much as basically a first impressions, but I did really enjoy playing Blade Sorcery Nomad, and I think you will too. If you're a fan of physics games or sword and magic games, definitely pick it up. If it's on sale, anything less than $20, it's going to be fantastic. And again, a year from now, this whole game was going to be revamped. So I highly suggest, if you're at all interested, you go for it. I'm not going to leave a score or anything for this, because I do think that it's not exactly well baked enough to consider it a full release, even though it was charged full price and was available in the store today to pick up. This is Donnie from Gaming Trend, giving you my first impressions on Blade Sorcery Nomad, available on the Oculus Quest 2. If you've enjoyed this content, stick around the channel. For everything else, check out gamingtrend.com.